Hello and welcome back to Easy English with James. Today we're going to have a look at the second conditional. This is a part of English grammar that many students find very difficult. And it's also one that will help you to sound much more like a native speaker and prove that your English is at a really advanced level. So, if you want to learn how to use this perfectly, stick with me. Okay, so what is the second conditional? As you may know, there are 4 different conditionals: the 0, the first, the second, and the third conditional. The 0, first, and third we are not going to look at today. We're going to focus on the second conditional. Why? Because it's one of the most common things that you will hear in English, okay? And it's also one that so many students get wrong. Okay, the second conditional, what is it? It is something that is imaginary, that means not real, okay? Very important, not real or imaginary, that you think will happen in the future or might happen in the future, okay? The second conditional is used for unreal, not real, or imaginary situations. Situations that are in your head. They are not real. They are possible. They are possibilities, okay? Again, I want to emphasize they are not real. Doesn't mean that they won't be real in the future, but right now, they are not real. They only exist in here. Now, the tricky part for this is that all of what we're saying is taking place in our heads. So how do we know whether we should use the present, the future, or the past? Many students think, if I'm thinking about the future, I should use the future. Or if I'm thinking about the past, I should use the past. Or if I think about the present, I should use the present. But with the second conditional, we always start with the past simple. The past simple. We start the sentence with an if, that possibility. Yeah, if this or if that. So if, let's say, if I won the lottery, lots of money for me, if I won the lottery, I would buy a really big house for my family. If I won the lottery, I would buy a really big house for my family. I didn't say if I win the lottery. If I win the lottery. In the present. I said if I won, and won is in the past. Why is it in the past? The reason is that it's in my head and I'm imagining in my head that it's already happened. If I won the lottery, what would I do if I won the lottery? After I won the lottery, I would buy a car, buy a house. So I'm buying the car, and in the past, before that, I won the lottery. Okay, so if I won the lottery, I would buy a house. If I won the lottery, I would buy a Tesla car, okay? What would you do if you won the lottery? Write that in the comments. I'm very interested to know what you would do if you won millions and millions of dollars on the lottery, okay? But remember, again, if I won. You could use this for any situation that you're imagining. If I slept early, I would wake up early. If I slept early, in English we might actually say if I went to sleep. If I went to sleep early, I would wake up early. But in this sentence, the meaning is that right now I don't go to sleep early. I don't normally go to sleep very early. But in my head, if I went to sleep early, I'm imagining, if I went to sleep early, then I would wake up early. I hope, probably, okay? If I went to sleep early, then I would wake up early. If I always ate only healthy food, I would be very, very healthy, okay? The meaning there is that I don't always eat perfectly healthy food, okay? Sometimes I like to have a chocolate bar or a Coca-Cola, okay? But if, I'm imagining in my head, if I always ate, again, you'll notice past simple, always the past simple. If I ate healthy food, then I would be really, really healthy. I would look great, okay? If I always ate healthy food, I would look great. If I always ate healthy food, I would look great, okay? What you can do if you want to practice the second conditional is to continue the chain around and around and around and around, okay? You can start by saying, if I ate healthy food, I would look great. And then link that with the next part of the sentence. If I looked, changed to the past now, you'll notice it's now in the past. If I looked great, I would become a model. Change become to became. If I became a model, I would become famous. If I became famous, I would become rich. If I became rich, I would buy a car. If I bought a car, I would drive it around the UK where I live. If I drove it around the UK, I would see everything. If I saw everything, I would probably get a little bit bored and go home. If I went home, I would be back in here making more English lessons for you to learn. Okay? So what we're going to do with this fun little way to practice is I'm going to start by saying a sentence, and I want you in the comments to finish this video by continuing that chain. So look at the comment above yours and continue the if I would chain. So if I won the lottery, I would have lots and lots of money. You need to respond, if I had lots of money, I would, and then your answer. And then as many people in the comments can write their own answers, and we'll go as far as we can go, okay? Okay, so very, very important. Remember the second conditional, we start with if, so that there's a choice. We don't know if this or if that, it's possibility. And then we'll say the event, but we use the past simple. If this happened, then this would happen. If this happened, then this would happen. Okay? If I got healthy, then I would feel great. Okay? So, practice them. Give me as many conditionals as you can in the comments and I will correct them for you, okay? That was a nice short little grammar lesson today. If you want to see any other grammar lessons, just write them again in the comments and I'll see if I can get round to making them in the future. Okay? Thanks very much for joining me. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy my lessons so you don't miss out on any of them in the future and hopefully you get to really improve your English, okay? Hit that like and subscribe and I will see you again another time. Bye bye.